If you like kimchi, there is seriously no dish more iconic than Kimchi Jjigae, or kimchi stew. And while there's a million different versions, today I'm going to show you mine. If you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. I release new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And with all that being said, let's make some Kimchi Jjigae. Now you can use any Napa cabbage kimchi for this, but traditionally Kimchi Jjigae is made using extra old kimchi. Its intense pungent and sour flavor is what makes this dish so popular. So for today, I'm actually going to be using the very last of the kimchi I made all the way back in episode 1. This batch is about 5 months old now and is pretty strong. The very first time I made this dish, I was a little bit skeptical to be honest, but it's almost stupid how delicious it actually is. And once it's cooked with all the other ingredients, the kimchi mellows out a bit and becomes so well balanced. You can make this a vegetarian dish depending on what kimchi you use, but since I'm not, let's pork it up. I'm using a couple end pieces of a pork loin I butchered the other day, but you can use pork belly, shoulder, whatever you want. Just make sure it has a bit of fat on it. Remember kids, fat is flavor. I'm just slicing them up into little bite-sized pieces, nothing fancy. This is definitely not a dish for showing off your impressive knife skills. Speaking of which, here's me showing off my impressive knife skills. That was an onion, FYI. I'm also going to be adding some mushroom. Not a traditional ingredient, but I love mushrooms, so what are you going to do? This is a king oyster mushroom, because that's what I have in my fridge, but any mushroom would work here. Again, doesn't matter how you cut it, just try and keep it bite-sized. We're also going to need a couple green onions, because I don't think there's a single Korean dish that doesn't have green onions in it. Last, but certainly not least, is tofu. This is half a block of a soft tofu that I made. I'm just cutting it in half since it's very delicate and will likely just disintegrate if I cut it up any smaller. You can check out the link in the description to learn how to make your own. And that's it for prep. Heat a high-sided pan on medium-high heat and add a good tablespoon of canola oil or another neutral cooking oil. Then add the cut-up pork to the pan, seasoning it generously with kosher salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Continue cooking on medium-high heat until the pork starts to get some color and you're left with all these delicious brown bits on the bottom, or fond. Then add about a cup's worth of kimchi. Use the juice to deglaze the pan and scrape up all those tasty brown bits. Turn the heat down to medium and continue cooking, stirring often until most of the juice is gone and the kimchi gets a little bit of color. Also, and I can't stress this enough, eat a piece of pork for, science reasons. Then add a tablespoon of minced garlic and the sliced onion, and cook until they're just starting to soften, around 2 to 3 minutes. To that, add soy sauce, fish sauce, and Gochugaru, Korean chili flakes. Allow everything to simmer for a minute to really develop the flavor. Since this is a stew, we're going to need some liquid. You can use anything you'd like here, water, dashi, beef stock. Personally, I like using chicken stock. And no, I didn't make this, it's just a store-bought one. I know, I'm the worst. You don't need tons of liquid either, just enough to almost cover everything. Then add the mushrooms and green onion. Reduce the heat to medium-low and simmer until about a third of the liquid is gone. Make a little trench in the stew and gently place the tofu inside. The tofu just needs to be heated through a bit, and if it cooks too long, it'll start to fall apart. Spoon the jjigae into a nice bowl or dukbagi and top with the tofu, some sliced green onions, and of course, some toasted sesame seeds. And that's it, Kimchi Jjigae. Serve it up with a bowl of steamed rice and you've got one of the most iconic Korean dishes. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more content.